Hey y'all, so today I want to share with you 5 ways to receive a sigil. Now for those of you who don't know, a sigil is just another word for a symbol, a magic symbol of something that you want to manifest or transpire. For example, good health, protection, a lover, a specific person, a specific job, a good job, just anything that you want to manifest or make happen. And so we're going to start off with our first method. Now, some of these methods are very common. They're all over the internet. Others are a little bit more obscure, but I'm going to cover them just for the purposes of giving you as much information as possible, but there's plenty of information out there to follow up on these. So the first method is called the Osman spare method. And in this method, what you do is you take a affirmation or a sentence of something that you want to manifest and you write it down. So you usually want to make it brief but specific. So for this example, I wrote down, "It is my will to attract money." I probably should have put a specific amount, but again, this is just for an example. For your purposes, you might want to put a specific amount. So what you're going to do is you're going to take that sentence or affirmation that you've written and you're going to remove all the letters that repeat. So I removed all the letters, and what I got left over was W, R, C, N, E, and Y. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take those letters and drawing on your own creative, intuitive faculty, you're going to combine those letters into one symbol. And you might get something like this here. See, it's just very creative and intuitive there. That's your sigil. Now this method is probably more suited to people who are more artistic and creative and intuitive, and that something like this would, especially this part here, would really appeal to them. Now the next method I'm going to talk to you about is the use of magic squares. And I'm showing you these magic squares from Secrets of Magical Seals by Anna Riva, but you can find the squares all over the internet. I have them on my website, Carolina Conjure, but this is a quick example of what the squares look like. There are 7 magic squares associated with the 7 classical planets, which are also associated with the 7 days of the week. So let's run them down real quick. Sunday is the sun, Monday is the moon, Tuesday is Mars, Wednesday is Mercury, Thursday is Jupiter, Friday is Venus, and Saturday is Saturn. So to use these magic squares, first of all, you have to have a goal. What is it I want to manifest? What is it that I want to transpire? And then you choose a square that's associated with that goal. For example, Mars. Mars is associated with war, passion, sex, competition. Mercury is associated with travel, communication. Venus is associated with love, friendship, also money. So think about what your goal is and what Kamea is in harmony with that goal, or magic square. They're also called Kameas. And magic squares are thought to put forces in motion. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say I wanted... I have a crush on Chris Evans. I love Chris Evans. So let's say I wanted Chris Evans to like me, to love me, what have you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to refer to a numerology chart. And this is just a quick little chart numbered 1 to 9, and then the letters in the alphabetical order going through them. So you start out with A is 1 and I is 9, then it starts back over with L at 1 and so forth and so on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the name of the person that you want. In this case, it's Chris Evans. I'm going to write his name down on a piece of paper. And then I'm going to, under the letters in his name, I'm going to write the numbers that correspond to the letters in his name. And again, I get this from this chart. As you can see, C is 3. Look at here. C is 3. And so forth and so on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add those numbers up. So when I add all these numbers up, I get 51. And 5 and 1 is 6. Now that 6 is not going to be important this time, but the 51 is. So what you're going to do next is, again, I'm going to use the magic square of Venus because I want Chris to like me. So I'm going to take the magic square. Hold on a second. I'm going to take the magic square and I'm going to start at number, I have to find it because it's backwards. Start at number 3 because that was the first number up here, and I'm going to draw a line from number to number in the same order as the numbers are in his name on this square. So I go 3, 8, 9, 9, blah, 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 whatever. And when I'm done, that is my sigil. And then what you're going to want to do is draw that again without the square on it, and boom. That is Chris Evans' name written on the square of Venus to get him, and I'll use the sigil to get him to like me, to love me, maybe to marry me, have some babies, I don't know. And I'm going to tell you how to use sigils at the end after I describe all the ways to create a sigil. So that's 2 popular ways to create a sigil. That first way is for more creative, intuitive people. That second way, if you just don't feel like you're creative and intuitive enough, you can use the magic square because it's just basically figuring out numbers and drawing lines on paper. Okay. The third way, oh wait, let's go back. I'm going to lump this next way in with magic squares because they are sort of similar. And I didn't write up an example, but you can Google it. There are things called sigil wheels. You'll find them online, and it's basically a circle, and it's been divided into the letters of the alphabet. So 22 letters in the alphabet. So 22 little spaces in this circle. And the letters of the alphabet are written in these spaces. And basically what you do is you can take a piece of paper, put it over that, or a piece of tracing paper, and you start at let's say you want a job. Let's say your job title is, the job you want is a bank teller. So you'll take your sigil wheel with the letters on it, put a piece of paper over that, and then you'll start at B, and you'll draw a line from B, A, N, K, L, bank teller, T-E-L-L-E-R, and then boom, there's your sigil from bank teller, and then you would use that sigil to help you manifest a job of being a bank teller. Okay. The fourth method of receiving a sigil is, I think I've read about this in a grimoire. I think it was I want to say it was the Lesser King of Solomon. What you do is you go out in the morning and you find a snail. And you pick up that snail, and you put that snail on a silver tray. And you try to make sure that that tray has sort of edges where the snail can't go off of it. And you put that tray somewhere in another room or what have you, and you leave it until sunset. And at sunset, you go get that snail again. You take it back outside and put it where you found it. Don't hurt the snail. But what you're going to do is you're going to take that silver tray and hold it up to a light, and where snails move, they leave that trail of slime or goo or whatever it is. And so you'll be able to see on that silver tray the lines of where that snail moved, and that becomes a sigil for you. I've never actually tried that one myself, but it's just locked in my brain as one way. The fourth way to receive a sigil is through your dreams. And to do that, you basically, before you go to bed at night, you program your mind to dream a sigil for yourself. So you might address whatever higher power you work with or believe in. You could say spirit, the universe, my higher self, my ancestors, my spirit guides, my spiritual cord, the sun, moon, and stars, whatever higher power you want to call on, and say, please help me to dream a sigil to manifest the perfect job for me. Or you can simply say, tonight I will dream a sigil to manifest, a sigil that will manifest my perfect lover. Whatever it is you want, just word it however you want to. Just set it firmly in your mind, and then go to sleep with that thought, and then you'll dream up your sigil. Now, I was taught that You may not dream your sigil the first night, and for those of you who are gifted with dreams, it'll be easier. For those of you who are not gifted with dreams, it'll be harder. But you can try for up to 7 nights or until you receive your sigil. If after 7 nights you have not dreamed your sigil, you stop doing that, take a break, and then try again later. Okay. So the fifth way to receive a sigil, and I learned this method from a woman who was active in witchcraft from her early 20s in the mid 1960s until her death around 2005. And she had been a secretary in a big law firm somewhere, and she used her secretarial skills in her witchcraft. For example, her Book of Shadows. Now remember, this goes back to before computers and all that. She hand wrote her entire Book of Shadows in shorthand, what she would use in the office when she took dictation. So when she taught me things, she would read them from her Book of Shadows because I didn't know how to read shorthand, or she gave it to me verbally from her mind, from her memory. If she were alive today, she'd probably be doing exactly what I'm doing here, is sitting in front of a camera telling you these things. But anyway, she taught me this method of receiving a sigil. And basically what you do is you take a length of yarn, twine, cord, string, and this is all very intuitive. So use whatever length you want for your string. It can be longer, shorter, whatever. Use your intuition. I've taught this to people who've thought, okay, well, I'll use a 10-inch string because 10 is the number of completion, or I'll use a 9-inch string because 9 is, there's that whole spell of time, 9 knots in a piece of string. But anyway, use your own intuition however you want to do this. Also, I chose a red one today because in hoodoo, red is a lucky color. But if you want to use color symbolism in this, choose a color that matches your goal. So again, red for love, green for money, orange for road opening, whatever. But you don't have to do that. You can use any color you want to. But basically what you do is you take your thread, grab it by its tip, and hold it up over a flat surface. And then you're going to close your eyes and focus on whatever it is you want. Now, if you're one of my Wiccan friends, you can chant a spell that describes what you want. If you practice hoodoo, you can pray a psalm, or just make an affirmative prayer. Or, if neither one of those appeal to you, you can just say something like, make an affirmative statement of what you want. So, you might say, I will attract $500. And I usually say things 3 times because 3 is a magic number. So you close your eyes, you say your statement, and you just slowly, without looking, lower your cord, intuitively move your hand or don't move your hand. Just slowly until it lands on the floor. And then that's going to be your symbol. Now, I'm not going to show you what I just made here, but I did this earlier in the living room, and I took a picture so that I can show you. And this is just an example. Oh, crap. Let's go back. This is an example. Let's see. Maybe y'all could see it that way, of what a sigil might look like. But it depends on the length of your cord and how you did it down. It's going to be very individual. You'll never have the same sigil twice. And so what you can do with this then is, once you have your sigil, like I showed you earlier, you can take out a piece of paper and slowly and deliberately draw that sigil on a piece of paper, as big or small as you like. And you're going to put the force of your concentration into the drawing of that sigil. You're going to focus on whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you want to manifest as you draw that sigil. Now, what do you do with your sigil once it's drawn? Well, you can do it you can use it like a petition. I've talked about that before. You can slide it under a candle. You can tuck it in a mojo bag. You can carry it in your pocket. You can put it in a doll baby. if you have a potted plant in your house, especially if you're trying to grow or manifest something, you can fold it, put it in a potted plant, and then as the paper sort of emulsifies and the plant grows, your whatever it is you're trying to manifest will come into being. My old favorite is to take your petition or your spell or your sigil and put it in the Bible anywhere it says, and this shall come to pass. And then when it does come to pass, you take it out and burn it. You could put it at Psalm 66 because that's used for making wishes come true. That's some of the things that you can do with your paper sigil. Now, another thing this witch taught me is, and I've added to it, is even this string that you use to make your sigil originally, there's stuff you can do with this. First of all, you can dress it with the oil. So let's say this was, I had made a sigil to make Chris Evans love me. So I might take a little bit of lavender love oil, put it between my fingers, and stroke this cord. And I'm going to turn this cord into a spell cord. And then I might tie it together. I might bring it two together, so two becomes one, and then tie a knot in it. Or I might take this cord and make a circle out of it, and I'll put it on a flat surface, put a candle inside that circle, a fixed candle, and burn that candle for what I want. And then sort of my desire has been woven into this string. And again, I can put this in my Bible, use it as a birthmark. I can put it in a mojo bag, carry it in my pocket, put it in a little keepsake box somewhere special. I can burn it to release the energy. I can do all kinds of things. You can take and tie it around your wrist, tie it in a knot, and as you tie the knot, make your wish, and then you carry your wish with you until, you wash dishes and it gets wet, or you take a bath and finally it'll just sort of fall off and then it releases into the universe. There's all kinds of things you can do with this string. That's just extra. You don't have to do this stuff. It's just listen to your own spirit, listen to your own creativity. Oh, and just like I said earlier, there's the old technique of tying 9 knots in a string. So you can tie 9 knots into the string and repeat your wish with each knot. And again, put it in your Bible, put it in a safe place, whatever you want to do. Anyway, that is 5 ways to receive a sigil. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.